In today's video, we are going to build an AI-powered HR chatbot using few Python files, FastAPI, OpenAI. This is a beginner-friendly real-world AI project, very easy to build. You can code along with me if you like. So let's start. So this is what you learn after the end of the video. That is how to connect OpenAI APIs, how to create API endpoints, how memory works, what's the role of LLM, how to run it locally. So these are the steps that we are going to follow to create it, to build it. Let's start. The first one is create project folder. So I need a command prompt. Let's name it as AIHR. Let's go inside our folder. Now we are inside our folder. The next step is creating a virtual environment. We are doing this so that we can manage our project dependencies separately and deployment becomes easier if we do that. So the first one is to create a virtual environment, the second one is for the name of the folder. So we are going to use. You can name it whatever you like. First one is important, second one is the name of the folder. Now we need to activate it also. Let's activate it. So when it gets activated, this is what you see before the C drive. It's activated. Then now the next step is installing packages. So these are the packages that we need for this project. FastAPI for API endpoints. UVCon is a server that will run it. OpenAI is to connect to your AI model. Python.env. Why? Because we have our API key in our environment file and we are not hard coding it. So, and the next step, before going to the next step, let's install the packages first. FastAPI, UVCon, OpenAI, .env. So after installing the packages, the next one is to create the project files. Let's see if it's done. Okay, it says new release of pip is available. It's okay. Now let's create a few files that we need. So null is for creating empty files. Let's create more. Memory. Then we need LLM. And we need an environment file. Remember that after this there is a space. Now what I have done is I've written the functions inside a Word file, because sometimes I do make mistakes in the syntax sometimes, and then you have to do it again. So this is your main py file. So we need here the important thing is the system prompt. So what happens is when the user sends a query, let's say he asks a question, how many leaves do I get or something like that, what happens is the query will go into the memory and the system prompt plus your chat history, that will go to your LLM, which is going to generate that, which is called the AI brain, and it is going to generate a response, the AI generated response that you get. And the response is again then returned and also stored in the memory and then returned to us. So let's save it. Close it. The next is for LLM. This was main. This is memory. This is your LLM. So import OS. Why? Because we are saving our API key in the environment, so we need this. Import load.env. Why? Otherwise the Python will not be able to read your API key. The model that we are using is GPT. So LLM is also called the AI brains. Why? Because here we are using the model. Let's save it. Let's go for the next one. We've done 2. No LLM. Pad. Which one is left? Memory, which is the main one. Memory.py. So we have defined 2 functions here. Define update memory and get memory. This is fine. What else? Now .env. So here we need our API key. So OpenAI API key. So now if you do not have an API key, don't worry, I'll show you how to get it. So this is your platform. So type in platform.openai.com, and on the left hand side you see an option of API keys. Now these are the API keys that I've already created. Now if you observe, I am not able to access them. I can't read them also. What I can use is I can only delete them. So it is very important that when you create your new secret key, let me show it to you how to create it only. Name it as testing, let's say, create secret key. So when you create your secret key, this is the only time when you can copy it or save it somewhere. So just copy it, save it somewhere where you can use it, reuse it, because later on you will not be able to access it. So let's say if I want to change it now, let me change it. So OpenAI API key, it was this before. Now I am changing it to the one that I have just created. Control S. The next step is to run the server. Main is the name of the file, as you know. App. Reload. So when you type in reload, this is what you should get. Application startup complete, and it's perfect. You are done. You are sorted. This is what you should get. Now we can open a new tab, and if you want to check on browser, let's check it. Click on chat, click on try it out, paste your query, whatever you have. How many leads do I get? Now I don't know if I have any credits left, but let's try. I think I've used all my credits. If I've used all my credits, see 200 successful it was showing, so it was working. Now let's check if my query gets executed or not. See, previously it was successful response, my application is running, everything is fine. Now why am I getting is an internal error is because I've used all the credits, that's why I'm not getting any response. However, when you try, you do get few free credits that you can use. So these were the steps. We created a project folder, created virtual environment, installed packages, created project files, ran the server. Our application is running perfectly, as you've seen. And okay, let me show you one more time the response that you get. So here, application running. The only error that I'm getting is this. Why? Because I'm not getting the chat query, the result. Why? Because I've exhausted my credits. However, rest, it should work on your side. Rest, everything is fine. So the main thing that you need to look for is application startup complete and 200 okay. So 200 is for. So now let's see one more thing, and that is the concepts that we used in this for LLM, prompt engineering, memory system, and API backend. So So now what we built was AI powered HR chatbot, smart responses, memory based conversation, and there are some limitations also to this because we have used a minimal of resources. It was a beginner project. The memory will reset whenever the server will restart, shared memory, and no authentication. Now this is a great starting point if you want to learn AI applications, AI development, LLM integration, and conversational memory systems. Now you can upgrade it also. How? By adding user sessions. For example, different users will have a separate memory. You can have a front end, store chat in your database, and you can deploy it in AWS or Docker or add voice input. So that's it for today. Happy coding!